Dude, are you drunk?
Maybe.
Welcome to the Booz and Broz podcast, where hosts Matt Lytle and Chris Califf discuss everything paranormal, cryptic, horror, true crime, and of course, booze. So grab your favorite beverage and come have a drink with the Booz and Broz.
What is up, everyone? Happy Halloween, and welcome to Booz and Bros episode 7. I'm your host, Matt Lytle, with my co-host.
And I don't get paid enough for this shit.
You don't get paid at all.
That's the problem. If Tito's would hurry up and fucking sponsor us, this wouldn't be an issue.
So to start this podcast off, what's over my left shoulder there, Califf?
A grudge? A chip? Oh, we're actually being serious. That's a bottle of Tito's.
That is a bottle of Tito's. And yes,
That's the
serious.
stuff that is slowly killing my liver.
Yes. Mine too. But speaking of Tito's, how you feeling, man?
Speaking of butts, how do you feel? I'm currently dying. As Matt would say, I have leukemia.
It's not funny.
No, walking pneumonia.
Yeah, literally.
And here I am doing this shit for you guys. So
I didn't think we would even do a Halloween episode, but I got a text today saying, let's do it. And it wasn't COVID, and he's okay. So here we are.
I wish it was fucking COVID. Can it kill me already? Can we just be done with this shit?
I don't want it to kill you, but I mean, yeah, I kind of wish
Can we just do
the
the
so I
COVID?
knew what it was like.
We're doing a COVID conspiracies thing at some point, right? Or
We are. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, we're going to do
Because
COVID.
I still, excuse me. I still like the idea from the beginning. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of me coughing because my lungs are slowly dying. One of the best things about COVID, just for the record, was when it first came out. And one of the things was if you masturbate enough that you could defeat COVID. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's one of probably the best theory out there. I wonder how many people actually thought it was serious. I would say at least 99% of Americans.
I'm sure if that was the case, all of the World of Warcraft gamers would be solid.
Oh, it'd be a new world.
As it is Halloween, I see that you're wearing a particular getup today.
Yes. So for Halloween, I'm wearing a Michael Myers t-shirt.
And you were disservicing him with that fucking atrocity on the top of your head.
Okay, and then I'm wearing these pumpkin glasses, and I'm wearing a witch hat. But these two are from my birthday party that I had a month ago, so why not throw them on? Because it's Halloween, and we can do whatever the hell we want.
Why not throw them on? Because you have standards in life, and you have some kind of dignity and respect.
No, I don't. You should know that.
True.
Speaking of dignity, what are you wearing? Fucking Phantom of the Opera?
I'm wearing my personal brand. It's called Califf. It's a thing. I gotta tell you, back in the day, we used to wear masks out on ghost hunts and cemeteries for the idea that, if you wore a mask, that if something evil was there, it wouldn't be able to ID you, wouldn't be able to see your face or follow you home. So this is one of the many masks in my collection that I would wear out when we went on investigations and ghost hunts. Clearly the mouth is cut out because I talk too much shit to have my mouth covered.
True.
That's kind of a thing. But this was kind of the concept and the idea. This is one of the ones that was used just recently on some of the hunts that we went on.
I dig it, and I dig that whole theory of they don't see you, they don't know who you are, so they're not going to follow you home, which actually the origins of Halloween.
I know, shocking how every time we have a segue into what we're about to talk about.
We really didn't plan that. That was awesome. But before we talk...
But before we talk about that, I'm taking this goddamn mask off because my face is sweaty and my lungs hurt. So
that's fine. That's fine.
Ugh. Hi, guys. I'm Califf.
I see you got some new audio as well. Audio equipment you got.
No,
not at all. That mic's been there the whole time we filmed Booz and Bros.
It literally has been in a box to my right the entire time.
Time to drink, baby. What do we have?
What do we call this one? After last week's successful vampires and werewolves episode, for one particular line, Matt, what was that line?
I want to suck your butt.
God, I hate myself for doing this podcast.
I hate the fact that we're doing this. I want to ask you because you're funnier than I am, apparently. I think you are too, but apparently to our audience you are. I've gotten feedback that you're the funny one, which is fine by me. I don't give a shit.
People clearly have a dark sense of humor, so.
And that's great. And the people listening to this podcast, they have to have a dark sense of humor, because if not, they're not going to like either of us, especially you.
Yeah.
But what are we calling this?
This is the pumpkin butt sucker.
The pumpkin butt sucker for Halloween.
I got to name this one. Tito's, you're welcome. We just gave you $1 million in sales.
Pumpkin butt sucker. So it consists of Tito's and orange juice, ladies and gentlemen.
Some might call it a screwdriver. To us.
Not us.
It's a butt sucker.
Exactly. Cheers, bro. Happy Halloween.
All right, speaking of Halloween, young Matthew Lytle, what is today's topic?
Today's topic is Halloween. Where do we start?
And not the franchise. Not the franchise.
No, not the franchise. The actual holiday.
The what?
The actual holiday.
So you said the franchise. Like, you totally butchered the word franchise.
I had orange vodka juice stuck in my mouth.
I can't with you today. I can't. Oh my God, you just made me want to slowly die inside. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for. So Halloween started 2,000 years ago. It started as Jesus. A pagan, right? And it was just right after Jesus. Pagan.
So did Jesus
holiday.
Start Halloween?
Jesus, I don't know. No, not that I read. You know, it's possible. So let me talk about the beginning of it, and let's see if this is possible. So, okay, I already used the word pagan, so there's already a probably not. Jesus, I don't think, would participate in the big bonfires that they had, sacrificing animals, throwing in everything they could, basically, around them, and trying to protect themselves from spirits. Also, on that night, it is believed that the priests could see the future just on Halloween night. And so the bonfires were built and people would gather around to listen to their future from these priests. But they also dressed up, obviously, in masks as devils and whatever scary things. So it started off pretty dark and pretty scary. No one dressed up as Tinkerbell or anything.
Or slutty Tinkerbell. Like, I mean, I gotta give you credit nowadays. Like, I mean, there's no costume you can't make slutty. I saw a slutty Freddy Krueger costume. I mean, you take a serial killer who looks like a deep fried ball sack and you make it slutty. Like, I'm super happy with this. Like, I kind of like where Halloween has gone.
Oh my God, a deep fried ball sack. Sorry, that's the only thing I got out of your statement.
It's because you like deep fried ball sacks. It's not my fault.
Why every time you say that? I don't know. Yeah, so anyways.
Ball sack.
No, deep fried.
Deep fried ball sack.
I can't.
I feel like I'm like a smooth jazz station with this thing on. Welcome to 99.7 Smooth Jazz. I'm your host, Califf. Tonight, we'll have a good time. Like, I feel like I'm totally like fucking hosting a smooth jazz station.
No.
Right now.
Tonight, we talk about deep fried ball sacks.
And how I want to suck your butt. Like, just shit like that, you know what I mean?
It does sound pretty good, though.
Anyway, back to it. So, another cool thing about Halloween was the idea of masks and stuff like that, Masks.
Right. Exactly.
By them.
Exactly.
The idea is that evil spirits, again, would not eat you. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the original Halloween was pagan, and that's what they did, man. It was very dark. Like I said, they sacrificed animals and stuff. Then around 1000 AD is when Christianity kind of started taking over the land, and they saw Halloween and were like, no, So they kept the bonfires and all, but they obviously stopped the sacrifices. And instead of celebrating the dead and protecting yourselves from evil spirits, they made Halloween All Hallows Eve, which All Hallows Day is November 1st. Go ahead, you want to say something?
Or All Saints Day for those who
or All
touch
Saints
little
Day,
boys.
right? Yeah,
It's a proven fact. They touch little boys. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you're Catholic and you get butthurt, oh my dear God, read the news.
no pun intended. Sorry, I had to.
The idea of free candy came from the Catholic Church. Let's be real.
We'll get to that. And then November 2nd, Christians made All Souls Day. The difference between All Saints Day and All Souls Day for the Catholics were All Saints Day was the celebration of saints in heaven, and then All Souls Day were for the souls that are still on earth. They celebrated that.
And they stole They stole that from Mexican tradition. Because Dia de los Muertos, November 2nd, is the Day of the Dead. The Catholics had a huge knack for stealing shit to make transition from different religions easier. So that's kind of what you do with any religion.
Yeah. But back to Halloween, because this isn't a bashing the Catholics podcast.
I grew up Catholic. I'm recovering Catholic.
I know. I'm not saying that what you're like, whatever, that's fine. I'm just saying. And then, as time went on, in England, they would wear masks around the whole, walking around the city with masks is because of what you said earlier. It was so spirits wouldn't recognize them and follow them or haunt them or whatever have you.
Well, let's not forget about Devil's Night, too. Let's not forget about Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween, right? Devil's Night being a night where you go out and you light shit on fire. I mean, it was famously exhibited in The Crow, the Brandon Lee movie, The Crow. The whole Devil's Night philosophy. But Devil's Night has been a thing, not for like as long as Halloween. But I mean, for the last few decades, Devil's Night has definitely been a thing where you just go out and you burn shit down. And that's the night before Halloween. So.
Yeah. So, and the thing that I've learned, in the last few years, and you're probably the same way, I like to celebrate Halloween, obviously all of October, but I still like to celebrate it November 1st and 2nd. I don't necessarily feel Halloween's over until, after the 2nd, just because I know it's a multi-day holiday in a lot of traditions. So not that I'm Catholic or anything, but I just respect Halloween so much that I'm just going to, drag it out as long as I possibly can.
Well, the one thing I can say I appreciate is, it's supposed to be, right, the day that the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest, right? So that's pretty rad. That's pretty cool. I do want to throw one thing in here, as you guys are going to watch this on Halloween, and this is going to be 4 days before the election. Get out there and fucking vote.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally in the next couple of days. Like I've voted already. I don't know about you. Yeah, but this is a huge election. And
I literally wrote in for the other portion of it was Trump and Biden, and then who the fuck else these people were. I literally put in the other. I wrote in Matt Lytle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't want to be president though, so
fuck you, Matt Lytle, 2024.
You need to calm down on those drinks. You're already done with the first one. Jesus. Remember what happened last podcast?
Oh, that turned into a shit show quick.
So everybody, the ending of our podcast for Vampires and Werewolves was probably about 12 minutes, and I literally just had to cut those 12 minutes out. And basically the last 10 seconds was like, okay, next week's Halloween, bye. That's all it was. I couldn't, because you were definitely so drunk, but I definitely was there too. It was great though. It was so fun.
I literally got up after that podcast, talked to you for a few minutes on the phone, laid on the couch, and I was done. Like, that was it.
It was good, man. We had a good hangout on FaceTime, because you and I live in different states, and if we lived by each other, we would see each other probably 2 to 3 times a freaking week. You know what I mean? Or day, right. So it's hanging out, doing this and FaceTime all the time. It's the closest we can get to actually broing out and fucking getting a beer together, Halloween came to America, and at first it actually wasn't celebrated in, the New England area, the Northeast. It was only celebrated in the South. So Maryland and on down, Native Americans actually were the first to celebrate it here in America. They would, obviously Halloween, you dress up from the beginning to now, you dress up. So they would dress up and do plays. And then it was the potato famine that brought the Irish over here, and they brought the tradition of costumes and bonfires, partying and stuff like that. And that's where Halloween really formed into what it is kind of more today. And then you probably know this, Halloween it was looked down upon so much in the 1920s and 1930s here in America, because it wasn't trick-or-treating, the bonfire stopped, the partying stopped, it was just vandalism, right? You've heard that, right? It was a lot of vandalism. People on Halloween would just, like the Devil's Night, they'd go and just burn shit, and that's all they would do. So Halloween was what it was attempted to make Halloween no longer a whole holiday here in America. And that was throughout like the 20, I mean, obviously people did do the tradition, but mostly it was celebrated by rioting, which of course we know this year.
Well, like, I mean, realistically, you look at what Halloween's become, and I'm all for what they were trying to do. Like, shut that shit down, because like the tradition of Halloween now has become so convoluted and diluted that it's like, what the fuck is the point?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, what has come today, so obviously, like, it transformed into trick-or-treating, which obviously came from England. They would trick-or-treat, and they would actually give out bread and water to the poor. And that's kind of how it started, here, is it wasn't candy, it was more food. But I like the tradition because of the vandalism and stuff, they did push it more towards a kid's holiday. Hey kids, you guys dress up and you celebrate, keep the adults at home having to answer the door, but I mean, I enjoy it, man. Especially being in my 20s, like dressing up and like, I'm being Pennywise for Halloween today, actually. And it's just, we're going to drink and have a good time, man. And, with you as well, I've ghost hunted before because the veil is the thinnest on Halloween. And I'm not kidding you. Some of the best evidence I've ever seen, paranormal evidence, is on Halloween. I love Halloween, man. I don't think there's a lot wrong with it. I mean, I want to hear more about what you're talking about, like when you say what you just said.
Well, let me be real and speak for the other half of the world that thinks of Halloween. This Halloween sucks because you can't take your kids trick-or-treating because fucking COVID. Well, so for the other half of people that aren't going to dress up and be drunk and do a COVID super spreader party like you are,
no party. Just a little get together.
We don't get the opportunity to dress up and go have our little soirees like you young cats do. We have to be responsible adults and take our children trick-or-treating. So, for example, the kids, you have to go out and spend $400 on makeup and costumes because, Jesus Christ, I think a spirit is ever inexpensive. But yeah, like it's become such a commercialized holiday where everything is so stupid expensive. It's unreal, right? So you have a concept that used to be evil. I'm going to wear a mask and give out treats so I don't get eaten by an evil spirit. Samhain, Samhain, all these things that fucking took place that were these big pagan traditions and festivals that were evil. They were driven from the concepts of evil, how you flush out the evil. And now I've got to spend $140 so my kid can be an inflatable T-Rex. Like, this is crap. This is crap. For me, and being a dad and all that type of stuff, Halloween has a whole different meaning to it nowadays. And I wish I could tell my kids, hey, a monster's going to eat you if you don't wear a mask or any of that stuff. Because the idea was that you gave out treats to appease the evil spirits, right? So right. You leave treats on your front porch, whether it be baked bread or whatever, like you said, whatever food it was, and that would appease the spirits from not eating children.
Right. And what's crazy to me is from Samhain, which is what the pagan festival was, where it started, to now, it's all about the other side. It's all about the supernatural. You know what I mean? No matter what religion you are, Day of the Dead, Catholic, whatever it is, it's all about the supernatural. And that's why I love Halloween so much. And then of course, we can segue into what we love so much about it. Of course, you just said, the negative things, which I can't relate because I don't have children, but I 100% see where you're coming from. It is very, very commercialized, too commercialized, because all the money that's thrown into all the memorabilia of Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween, which of course we do that. And all the horror movies and stuff, I totally agree. But another thing I love about it is that as well. I mean, we get to dress up in Michael Myers shirts and hats and say we're ghost hunters and we do it for a living, and people don't look at us like, what the fuck? You guys are weird. They're like, oh, that's super dope. It's the 1 month of the year where we actually are, and I don't care about being normal, but we're not looked at like, oh, you're kind of weird. You know what I mean?
You're talking about how you're looked at. Have you seen the way you look right now?
Oh, I didn't say I cared. I'm just saying it's nice.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what people think. I'll say I'm a ghost hunter and freaking on Valentine's Day. I don't give a shit what people think. I'm just saying it's nice. It's nice because everybody appreciates it more. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You know why? Because you're a giant douche.
I wish that hurt my feelings. But coming from a guy, like I said, who has whatever the fuck that is on your face, like, it doesn't insult me. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
They're pumpkin glasses. It's Halloween.
And you look like a straight up bitch. Like, anyway.
Oh my God, dude. Anyway,
I loved Halloween as a kid, man. I loved it. I loved the idea of going out trick or treating.
What are your favorite memories as a kid for Halloween?
That's a long time ago. I was Quasimodo one year. That was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed with that one.
You were impressed with your own costume?
Yeah, I was.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. Outside of that,
really,
Mina's the first time I got to take Mina trick or treating was pretty rad. She went out as Elsa, clearly, because she's a princess.
Oh, God.
Did I ever tell you for like the first 3 years of her life how I had to address her?
No.
Princess Elsa Mina.
Oh my gosh.
She would not respond unless you addressed her as Princess Elsa Mina.
That's so funny. Because Luna's so different as a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Luna walks up. She's like, Dad, I'm a Luna. Or are you a boy or a girl? I'm a Luna. That works.
Yeah. Perfect day and age to be exactly what you want to be.
Believe it or not, like I realized this last year, especially when we were on the road filming for Halloween and all that stuff. I'm more of a Christmas fan. Being a parent now, I look more forward to like Christmas than I do Halloween anymore. I love Halloween now because like I can play This Is Halloween from the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack or Monster Mash or Ghostbusters, and the kids get down. Like they get down for those jams. But overall, feel-wise, man, like Halloween, in my opinion at least, has totally lost its luster for me. It's not like when you're a kid, it has that magic vibe to it. It's that great time of year, all that type of stuff. But the older I get, the more I'm just kind of like, fuck, it's Halloween.
Well, I hope I never get to that point because I'm the opposite, man. I love the vibe of Halloween. I love October. Living down here in Southern California, I don't necessarily get a fall anymore. So I don't really see the leaves change and stuff, but I still feel the vibe, man. And I love it. I love turning on Halloween 2, whatever Michael Myers film or YouTube video I'll throw on, watching some Netflix haunted stuff. It's such a good time of year for me, and I love the vibe. And I hope, that I never lose that spirit because I do like celebrating by dressing up and partying or going ghost hunting, whatever it is. Like, I love it. And I'm always, always very, very sad when November 3rd hits or November 4th. Just because, man.
Especially in an election year.
Yeah, especially this year. Yeah.
For me, like I said, it's one of those things that, as you become a parent, as you get older, the views on change. There's a lot of people that like that still do the Halloween as a lifestyle, all that type of stuff. I mean, the kids' mom lives by that credo. It's Halloween year round, all that type of stuff. And I guess for me, being so saturated in it over the last 15 years, doing the ghost hunting thing, all that type of stuff, that a nice little reprieve from it is nice, which is kind of why I like the after effects in November and December. Throw on the Grinch and having, Mina be like, oh, look, it's Dad, if he was green. But like, it's those are the things that I look forward to now. So Halloween, I love the history of Halloween. I will forever love the history of Halloween because it's dark, it's twisted, it's fucked up, but it's also beautiful, right? To be able to commune with the dead and to be able to have a day where that veil is thinnest, so you have the best shot of seeing grandma or, you know, your younger brother or whomever you've lost in the year before. But I hate how, you know, all holidays, and it's not just Halloween because it's all of them, are so played out commercially now that they lose that luster, they lose that special meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one saving grace I have for a holiday like Halloween, like I said, is getting to be able to see Luna dress up like Baby Yoda and just be like, oh, that's adorable. You know, you kind of live through it through them. On the ghost hunting aspect of things, I love it because, like we talked about, when you're out hunting on Halloween or you're out hunting in October, it just, you feel it. You feel the energy's heightened.
It's so different.
A giant peak of knowing that you're going to get better evidence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one cool part I will say about October is that you can definitely feel when you're out working and you're out, you know, doing what we do, that you definitely have that sense that, okay, spiritually, I know that there's more in the air today than there would be in, say, like March, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, totally agree with you on that as well. The fact it's so commercialized, but like, again, we love a lot of the Halloween stuff. Like you and I just had a full podcast about Halloween, you know, the franchise. And one subject for you and me to talk about would be what's your favorite Halloween movies. That's kind of obvious. It's the Halloween franchise.
Well, outside of that, my favorite Halloween movie?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. What was my favorite Halloween movie? What's yours?
I'm a, you know, as much as I've become more of an experienced filmmaker, I really started appreciating Tim Burton a lot more, especially Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, all of the claymation. I don't know. There's just something about it that has this nice Halloween vibe, but it's also just so creative. And the way he filmed it, the way, obviously Nightmare Before Christmas, he didn't direct, but he produced and wrote it. And you know, Sleepy Hollow, same thing. That's just, the Tim Burton movies are some of my favorite to watch around October. And then one of my all-time favorites as well that I love to watch in October / Halloween is another movie we talked about, and that is Dracula. Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. What about you?
I hate the one with 3 witches.
Oh, Hocus Pocus?
Bullshit, garbage movie.
So overrated, man. So overrated.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know everybody that I know likes that movie, but it's just, it is what it is.
Garbage. Dumpster fire. Ernest Scared Stupid.
I don't think I've seen that since I was like 6.
That's the movie that started my fear of trolls. So because of that movie, I'm still terrified of, well, that and 3 Billy Goat's Gruff, because that story was just fucked up. Anyway, Ernest Scared Stupid. That's a good Halloween flick. For those of you who enjoy that Halloween flair in your life. Let's see. Grave Dancers is kind of a cool one. It's a B-rated horror flick that I love to watch around Halloween time.
Those are all good. Sorry, I have an ice cube.
No, I'm trying to think. Like I can't, like, how the Halloween franchise clearly is, it's kind of a thing. It's pretty much it. For me, it's music, right? Like, so, like, through the seasons and stuff, the music will change. And like I said, right now it's like Monster Mash, and it's Ghostbusters, and it's the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack. You know, it's things like that to kind of really get the Halloween vibe going for the kids. And that to me is the fun part, right? So be able to do that, be able to go and get the costumes. I love going to the Halloween stores just because they're like, I mean, as you know, you get to go in there and you're in a whole different world for a moment. So that, I've always loved those. I've always loved going to the Halloween stores. That's a good thing to do around this time of year. But for me, it's predominantly music as opposed to movies. So, and I listen to like dark, twisted shit anyway. So like if I listen to like Slipknot or something like that, they have the Halloween flair and vibe year round, but it really does kind of play a difference when you do it in October.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also candy. I mean, I'm not necessarily the biggest candy eater, but I mean, just like the giant bag of all these candies, and like we have a Halloween bowl sitting out on our kitchen table, like all this candy in it, and it's just like, we don't do that at all, like my roommates and I, but like it's October, so we do it. And you know, it's just nice to sit there and eat like 10 to 12 pieces of candy and watch, you know, Halloween or watch The Exorcist or something. And and, you know, just feel that nice fall breeze come in the windows. And I don't know, man, I love the, you know, I love the holiday, man. And I'm so excited to be Pennywise tonight. I've never dressed up as Pennywise. No, I will not do his voice.
Diabetes.
Wait, what?
All I can think about when you're talking about like eating 10 pieces of candy, I'm like diabetes right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I run it off.
Have you ever had the Reese's pumpkins? Like the pumpkins, the Halloween
Hell
pumpkins?
yeah.
That's the best thing about Halloween is the
Oh,
little Reese's
dude.
pumpkins.
Oh yeah, those are one of my top for sure. What other Halloween candies you had? Do you like candy corn?
Nope.
How'd you know I was gonna ask that?
Because it's the traditional Halloween candy. Like you've got candy corn, and then like I mean, you go to like year-round holidays, everyone has that traditional, and like you know Easter's Peeps, which are fucking gross. And then you've got candy corn, which literally is like solidified earwax that you're putting in your face.
I like candy corn. I don't love it, but I like it. I used to love it, but I just like it now. You know, I will say one of my favorite memories, October memories. I kind of want to close it out by this. You know, we've talked about the origin. We talked about our dislikes, our likes about it.
Are we at last call here at Booz and Bros?
Call. Sorry. Last call.
Last call here at Booz and Bros. Words are hard.
Here he goes.
Tito's every time kicks me right in the junk.
Tito's.
Yeah, that stuff
Tito's.
right there kicks me in the dick every time.
So we're going to get a little serious here. One of my favorite October memories. I will say, I was just down in Pasadena a week and a half ago, and I revisited all of the Michael Myers Halloween 1978. Michael Myers, for those of you who don't know what Halloween is, don't listen. Scenes where they filmed in South Pasadena. No, it wasn't in Haddonfield, Illinois, which is not a place. It was in South Pasadena. I went to the house and everything.
It's a place in my heart, bitch. It's a place in my heart.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Being there, and I went with my girlfriend, and it was a blast. And you can ask her. All I talked about was, oh, Califf and I were here. Oh, Califf and I went there. Oh, I think we were on that street. Like, one of my favorite memories of October out of my 7 years of living was that freaking day when we went to South Pasadena, H40 convention, saw, you know, some of the actors and actresses who played. Shout out to fuck, what's her name? I'm kind of drunk. Scout.
That'd be Scout.
Shout out to Scout. What's up?
You know what the best October treat in the world is?
What?
Daniel Harris.
Grown-up Daniel Harris, of course.
Does that even need to be said?
Yes, it does need to be said.
You sick fucking freak. Does that even need to be said?
Well, a lot of people think when Daniel Harris, they think of her when she's 9 and in the Halloween movies.
And those are the people that need to be in prison because they're pedophiles. I talk about Daniel Harris now. Again, now we're going back to the church. I'm recovering Catholic, not Catholic still.
Oh, man. Well, bro, talked about our favorite October memories. We talked about everything, man. It's time to go. It's Halloween. I got to get my costume on. You got to go take your family out.
Well, my big thing, I want to say this before we end this. So it's last call here at Booz and Bros, and I want to throw this out there. Tonight, be safe, have fun. Try to avoid, group settings. If you are in part one, wear a mask. Social distance. Keep yourself safe tonight. But above and beyond all, don't be an asshole. Don't go trespassing in cemeteries. Don't go trespassing in haunted places. Make sure that you're out there, you're being respectful. And if this is the night where the veil's the thinnest, be nice to who you're speaking to, because it's not going to be a demon. It's going to be somebody's aunt, and you don't want to be a fucking dickbag.
Well freaking said. Well said. And I second that and have nothing else to say. All right, man. Well, I'm going to chug this and go enjoy
Open your
Halloween.
throat. Let's see it. For everybody here at Booz and Bros, you need a chant right now that Matt needs to open his throat and chug that.
It's got ice, but I'm going to chug it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in to another week of Booz and Bros. We'll see you next week with a brand new episode with some more crazy shit.
Later, guys.